if you struggle in simplifying any topic in watercolor, in this video I'm gonna share a trick that allowed me to simplify a complex topic, and this same trick allowed my students that I coach to create those watercolor paintings by themselves without any tutorial. If you want to know more about the proven system that I teach, you have the link in the description below. It all started with this live that I had with my students, and this photo is a picture taken from one of my students. And when I saw this picture, I really didn't know how to tackle this because it was so complex. My methodology is based around listing all the elements into a given photo, like this one. And here you can see that you have the sky, you have the trees, you have the floor, the earth here, and you have the water, and also you have the reflection. So by listing everything here in the first column of this system, there are a lot of elements. And the issue that I had was that I really didn't know how to start this watercolor painting because there are too many things. So I spent like 10 minutes discussing with the student live, telling them, okay, the earth here, it's kind of complicated because my intention in this painting was about the reflection. So should I really paint the earth? Should I really paint the sky? I really didn't know how to manage each component of this painting. And it turned out that the solution was already something that I did. Here is a previous workshop that I did with my student, and it wasn't about forest, trees, like the previous photo that you saw. It was about the sky and the sea. And in this picture, you can see that the sea is a reflection of the sky. And for this kind of picture, I teach one technique that I called the mirror technique. And the mirror technique, it consists of first putting some water and then some pigment, pure pigment. Here is the yellow, the orange, the color from the reference photo. And each and every time you decide to put, for example, here the yellow pigment in the sky, you do exactly the same in the sea. And at the same time, so that you don't mess up with, okay, I forgot to put the yellow pigment in the sea, in the reflection. You do it at the same time. And the result, as you can see, it's kind of beautiful because there is some congruency in making the reflection of the sky exactly at the same time in terms of execution. Before, I wanted to do the sky first and then the reflection, but now I could see that by doing both at the same time, it's much easier. And if we go back to our first workshop around the forest, I realized that, okay, I won't be able to come up with a good plan for my watercolor painting. So the solution relies into recycling a previous technique that may have nothing to do with the current topic that you are dealing with. However, as there is a reflection element here, it reminded me of, oh yes, there was this technique that I used, okay, for seascapes, but it can also apply on the forest. And by doing so, now I could see, okay, I'm gonna do this painting this way because I know that this technique, it already works. And this is exactly what I did. As you can see, I put first pure water, then a little bit of pigment here, and when I put the yellow here, it's funny that it's in the same place. Okay, this is the result when the wash is dry. And you can see that, okay, maybe it's not exactly the reference photo. However, the mood is here. And we also have the light from this painting, thanks to this mirror technique that I already know. And at first, I didn't want to kind of spoil this first wash because it was so beautiful. But then I told my students, you know what? consider that this first wash is a mess, it's completely a failure, and we are going to put another wash on top of it. And the result is this one. So it's not too bad, but I think that we could improve. But the point is not here. In this video, the point is whenever you struggle with a very complex topic and you don't have a clue about how you are going to interpret it in watercolor, one technique that works marvelously well is remind yourself of what has already worked in the past. And when you list all the things that already worked, you can check with this complex topic, okay, if I apply this technique that is working, how could I apply it on this complex topic? If you don't get any answer from this question, go to the next technique and ask yourself, how can I apply this technique that I know? I know the output, I know that it works. How can I apply it on this topic? And when you do it on all the techniques that you already know that work, then maybe one of those techniques you will see, oh, if I tweak the topic, like if I remove the sky here, if I don't paint all the water in blue, this technique can then apply to this topic. So then the next question is, how can I know how many techniques I know? So for this one, you just have to take, for example, like the 20 previous watercolor paintings that you made, and you list on all, for each painting, you list, okay, this is a graded wash. This is a wet on wet technique. And for some paintings, you will come up with the same techniques. And in the end, you have a list of techniques, like 5, 10, 20 techniques. And when you encounter a complex topic, you will try for each technique to tweak the complex topic so that this is the right way to simplify it and to make this topic compatible with one of the techniques you have in your list. And as you can see, these are the results from my students during this live session. And most of the students that I coach are complete beginner in watercolor. So you can see that this trick works marvelously. Here is another result from another student, and here is another result. So how do you know that one technique can be successfully applied on one complex topic? I think that each person is different, but I'm gonna share with you my thinking process, which is based on some criteria. I have 3 big criteria when I decide to apply one technique instead of another one. The first criteria, which is kind of the most important for me, is it fun? Is it fun to apply this technique to this new topic or not? The second criteria is it fast? Can I apply it like in seconds instead of, if it takes me minutes, I can try it, but I'd rather do it in seconds instead of minutes. And my third criteria is it efficient? Meaning that, does this technique render an output that have kind of a wow effect? Does it create emotion? Does it create light? And as you can see, when I decided to use this mirror technique on this topic, it checked all the criteria. It was fun because it simplified the topic a lot. It was very fast. I knew already that this mirror technique can be done in seconds, and I knew that the outcome could be very beautiful. So you have to think about your own criteria based on your own personality. But now you have a decision process where you have the list of all the techniques that you already know, you have the list of criteria, and you have your complex topic. And by filtering this complex topic through the techniques filter plus the criteria filter, you will come up with maybe one technique or one tweak on this complex topic in order for it to become more reachable, more accessible, and more doable. So I hope that it was helpful. If you want to know exactly how I can interpret any topic into beautiful watercolor painting, you have a link in the description below.